Good morning, folks. How are you? Hope you're all doing well and lovely, and everything's going smashingly and swimmingly for you this lovely, fine Friday. The weekend is just around the corner, folks. Just around the corner. It's going to be pretty decent session, this one. I hope you really enjoy it. I'm going to be available all the time in the chat function. Obviously, I'll be talking to each of you individually, as always. Love to see some of your work. Please show me. I'll give you any feedback that you want. I'll give you as much feedback as you need. I can offer opinions, anything that you like. Yeah, please keep using the chat function, folks. It's really good for you. And make sure you send me your plenaries. I've told you this week. If not, next week you're holding both hands in the air for 5 minutes. I promise you. Okay. Yeah. Right. So today, design iteration, part of the idea development lesson. This year 11 till 1 session. We are currently week 11. We know this soda packaging. Next week we move on to simple white tea. Simple white tea. We're looking at t-shirts. It's going to be great stuff. As we know with soda packaging, it's all about target audience. Everything to do with soda packaging is target audience. It's grabbing attention, finding that unique selling point, the USP, in order to market soda packaging. What you're going to do slightly different to everybody else to grab attention. Your designs have got to be attention grabbing. As always, folks, please stay on task and stay for the entire session. Ask for help if needed via the chat function. I'll get to it as soon as possible. Sign the register post at the top of the group window. If I'm talking, I need 100% of your attention. Please keep all conversations relevant and keep to the replies of each slide. Don't start new conversations. Make the most of your time in sessions. Back for your work all the time, every evening, to your hard drives. Okay. The aims and objectives of today's session. We're looking at developing the understanding of market research and successful ways in which they may be conducted. What you must do, everybody must do, is create a survey. You should create a survey and have it answered by at least 10 people, and then you could create a survey and have it answered by at least 10 people and produce some nice little graphics accordingly. Okay, more will become clear as we go along. I'm going to be having a look. Surveys results. Why do we... And the whole reason for this, why do we do primary research and why do we do surveys as part of it? Can you please write this all down for me in the chat section? Please send this through to me via DM as soon as you can. What do we mean by primary research? What is primary research? Why is it different from secondary research? Why is it a good thing to do primary research? Why do we do surveys as part of it? Okay, you've got 5 minutes to do this, starting now. Okay, so our assessment criteria for idea generation. The PASS, we're looking at for generally competent use of development process shown in sufficient ideas generation, experimentation and review to find solutions. So generally competent. That's what we're always looking for with the PASS, generally competent and adequate. If you do the work, then you will get a minimum of a pass. Don't even think about limited or insufficient. If you do all the work that's asked of you, you will get a minimum of a pass. And if you get a pass, I will be over the moon. That's fantastic. For a merit, you need sound use of ideas generation, experimentation, testing and review, clear and consistent reflection on work showing emerging awareness of how solutions relate to intended meaning, purpose and function. For distinction, we need thorough engagement and confident application of ideas generation, experimentation, testing and review used to make considered choices. Sustained use of reflection to develop a critical understanding of how solutions align with the intended meaning, purpose and function of work. Basically, for a pass, generally competent and adequate. For a merit, clear and effective. And for a distinction, accomplished and thorough. If any of you are still unsure of any of these, please get in touch. I will more than happily go through them with you with a fine-tooth comb. If you're aiming for a higher level or you don't sort of really know the sort of level that you're working at, please get in touch with me as soon as possible. Okay, design iteration for assessment. What do we mean by design iteration? Design iteration is the product stages, the different production stages, I beg your pardon, during our design. So there's these three that we have to sort of look at: pre-production, production and development, and post-production. These may be a little bit, you may think, hang on, I've not looked at any of this before. Basically, pre-production, this is planning. Production itself is doing it. Post-production is pretty much everything that comes after it. So say like if you're making a video or a film, the pre-production is like writing the script, sorting out the locations, everything like that. A production is doing it, and the developing of it, how it goes along during the process of creating it. And post-production is everything like the editing afterwards. It could also be considered the editing and post-production of a graphic piece might be evaluating it, reviewing it, testing it out, that sort of thing. That's all design iteration. So 7 minutes, folks. A few questions here, a little quiz on British values. To start with, what do we mean by tolerance? What is tolerance? What is a subculture? Give me 4 examples of different subcultures. And what are the dangers of judging someone from a subculture? Okay, you have 7 minutes on this, starting now. Thank you very much, folks. Okay, firstly, for 15 minutes, please collect images of different soda cans and different varieties. 7 or 8 is fine. Where you can, please just have one single image of a can. So you see like these two on the right, the Fanta and the Coke. I don't mean so like, you know, show like we were looking at different designs on Pinterest and Behance, how you have like 30 in a row. What I want you to do is find me single images of one can. So just like one single can of Coca-Cola, one single can of Fanta. That's fine. Find 7 or 8 if you can. 15 minutes for that starts now. Okay, smashing. Thanks, folks. So 4 minutes. Find me a definition of qualitative and quantitative data. What is the difference between the two? 4 minutes, starting now. Go. Right, okay. I'd like you to please create a free online survey with a maximum of 10 questions. Why do I say a maximum of 10 questions? Because if you go to someone like surveymonkey.com and create a free account, you get to create a free survey. You can create a free survey as long as it only has a maximum of 10 questions. So, we're looking at gathering some data. The survey should be quantitative data only. We want to get numerical data from these. So quantitative, which you might have, which of the following do you prefer? So in other words, which one's your preferred variety? Oh, this survey is using the images that you did before. Sorry. So like which of the following do you prefer? Do you prefer Tango? Do you prefer Coke? Do you prefer Coke or do you prefer Pepsi? What is your age? Which one of the following are your favourite? All these sort of things. Qualitative would have been something like, what do you think about? Why do you like? How does Coke or Tango make you feel? We don't want any qualitative data. What we want to do is try and find numbers. So which of the following do you prefer? Coke or Pepsi? This sort of thing. What is your age? Or age range? Maybe sort of like 18 to 24, 25 to 35, 35 to 45, 45 to 55, exactly. I could go on and on and on. Which of the following are your favourite? And then give them an option. So then we can have a nice little survey created. You have 25 minutes to do this, folks. Do this on, I would recommend SurveyMonkey, but you are more than welcome to do this in any form that you like. If you don't have, you don't want to do it online, in an online survey, you can just write out the questions in, like, I don't know, somewhere like Microsoft Word and send them to people as like just text. That's absolutely fine. You don't have to send me your questions, but please create yourself a survey now. 25 minutes. Thank you. Now the fun part. Let's get as many people as we can to answer the survey. Right, this is going to be easier for you if you get a round number of people. For example, 100 answers would be perfect. I don't expect you to get 100 answers. Please don't worry about that. But if you get, say, like 10, or if you get 20, this is going to be a lot easier for you to do the maths as a part of it. What I want you to do, post your survey on social media. Ask your friends, ask your family, anyone who will answer. Email it to people. If you send me a link to your survey, I'll do your survey. That's fine. Send a link to Elliot. Elliot will do your survey. He doesn't know it yet, but Elliot will do your survey. Send it to loads of people. Send it to anyone you can get to answer it, basically. Friends, family, the pet dog, just anybody who's going to give you an answer. You have the rest of this session to collect data. Don't worry if you don't get many answers, and give yourself a cut-off time. So basically say you may want the cut-off time to be, don't know, the end of the session, the end of the weekend, whatever you like. The data you collect will be used for a piece of homework I want you to complete. Okay, so please come back at the end of the session for the homework. It's on the last slide. Okay, you have the rest of the session starting now. Come back at the end of the session for the homework. With the data that you find, I'd like you to produce an infographic illustration for me, depicting at least 2 of your findings. You have until next week to do this. I know we're starting off simple white tea, but it's going to be really, really good for you to produce this before your next session with me. That'd be really, really helpful. I'll give you an example of the sort of thing that I'm looking for. An infographic is an information graphic, basically. So rather than just writing out a graph, you know, how we know a normal graph to look, that is boring. So why not put it in something like this? So I just created this one, basically. If you have your x-axis, people surveyed up the left, 0 to 100, or however many the top was, and then put something like this: 90 out of 300 people I surveyed, people prefer classic Coca-Cola. So then you use all the data that you've got to arrange the sizes of the cans. I hope this makes sense to you. You can produce me a graph in any way you want, but an infographic would be definitely appreciated. Something like that. If you can produce a pie chart's fine, but make it something that's interesting. I'd like to see an infographic. If you want to know what infographics generally look like, give it a bit of a Google search. Infographics are everywhere, but this is the sort of thing that I want you to produce for me, and I want you to be able to put on your blog when you've got it. So this shows that you know how to do a good bit of primary research and how you know how to use infographics. Another one, something like this: do you prefer Coke to Pepsi? So you draw the Coca-Cola one larger because that represents 64% of people. You drew the Pepsi because that only represents 36% of people. Out of 300 people I surveyed, 64% of people prefer the classic Coke. So when you do the drawing, the illustration on the left-hand side with your cans, then just put a fact on it like I did there. Out of 300 people I surveyed, 64% of people prefer classic cola. So the plenary, what have we done today? I'm expecting one of these off everybody. I've talked to you about this. Send me a plenary. Okay, thank you very much, folks, and I'll see you in our next session. Bye bye.